they are releasing some of my favorite films right here. Russ Meyer movies are back. They're on Blu-ray and they are smoking hot. Let's talk to David Gregory from Severin Films is going to tell us all about it, and we will discuss the legacy of Russ Meyer. Hey, David, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and hopefully Erica Gavin will join us momentarily. We're glad to have you here. I remember I worked at a video store when I was in high school. Russ Meyer films were always rented out. Let's just say that. And God, I mean, my memory of them, there's something about them that, like, they're not porn, but they're not, they're not exactly, I mean, they're hard R, let's say that.
Yes.
And I remember ordering Russ Meyer movies on VHS. I called the number, and you know who answered? Russ Meyer.
Yeah.
When you would buy Russ Meyer movies, you ordered them from Russ Meyer. Tell me about the collection. Tell me what went into the restoration of these. Hopefully Erica will join us. And I want to show I don't know if I can show this trailer. We'll find out. Tell me all about it.
Well, so we worked with the Russ Meyer Trust, basically. I mean, it's been some time since these films have been available, since Laserdisc, basically. They've been unavailable except for a few DVDs that were produced by the Trust. And they have not actually been remastered since the early 80s, when Russ himself transferred them from the negative for the VHS releases. So it was way past time. And there was all kinds of rumors over the years what had happened to the negatives of these films, since Russ's health was deteriorating. And turned out that they were actually, the negatives all exist. They're all either at the Museum of Modern Art or at the Academy here in LA. And so we were able to come to an agreement with the Trust. We had to prove that our intentions were honorable, i.e. we had to make sure that they were packaged and looked the way that Russ would have done if he was here now to remaster his movies and release them in the current climate on Blu-ray and UHD, which includes, the packaging and the transferring the way he packaged them on VHS basically has been adapted for these latest releases. But we went back to the negatives, scanned them in 4K, and it's anyone who's seen these films before, you haven't seen them looking anything like this. These are beautiful. I mean, Russ Meyer is definitely one of the greatest American independents in the history of cinema. And so these films were definitely worthy of going all the way to make sure they had full, proper restorations.
And he's a guy, like, as a filmmaker, owned his own movies.
Yes.
And created stars. I saw when I first moved to LA, I wasn't exactly a strip club aficionado. I know many of you probably would not believe that, but I went to the Seventh Veil on Sunset and I saw Kitten Natividad in a giant champagne glass dancing to the song Ain't No Mountain High Enough. And if you've seen what Kitten Natividad looks like, she lived up to that song. Now, what went into the? The thing I love about Russ Meyer was they were exploitation movies, yes, but they knew what they were. There were themes of female empowerment, actually, but wrapped in an exploitation, humorous, fun story.
Very much. I mean, he was very much an auteur, if you can apply that in this situation. He was making his movies about his obsessions, which number one was big-breasted women, but he also, had a lot of other stuff to say in his films. And like you say, he made a lot of stars out of the women that were cast in these movies. Erica Gavin is one of them. She's incredible in Vixen. And nobody had seen anything like that, a female character like that in a movie in the 60s. It was controversial, very controversial movie, and probably still is in some respects today. In fact, it's still banned in Ohio. But yeah, that was something that we always champion at Severin. It's like it's filmmakers that are working outside of the mainstream. and Russ was the ultimate. He did everything. He controlled the ownership of his movies because he made his movies. He financed them. He even distributed them, as you say, answering the phone and saying, how many copies of this do you want? He did the whole lot.
And also, so many filmmakers today have been influenced by Russ Meyer. I mean, Quentin Tarantino, he obviously, just having seen his films, if you watch Faster, Pussycat, Kill, clear influences for Quentin, clear, and other filmmakers as well.
Yeah, that's right. The editing style in particular is something that's very, specific to the way that Russ makes films. He was also a fantastic photographer. I mean, he started as a still photographer and as a war photographer. So, his the actual shooting of his films, the compositions, is something that was very important to me. I mean, there is a lot of filmmaking skill that goes into these movies. They're not just, about bouncy breasts, although, that's pretty big part of it too.
Let's take a look. This is from your YouTube channel. Severin Films has a YouTube channel. Just look up Severin Films. This is the trailer for Vixen. Now, I've seen it. It's racy. It dances up to the line, but it's PG-13. So let's watch this.
Russ Meyer's Vixen. The story of a girl who loves the joy of being alive and gives herself innocently to the merry chase of life. But like any other game, life has its rules, and if we trespass beyond them, the game can become deadly.
No!
There is no stronger bond than the friendship between two men. Judd and Niles shared such a bond, a brotherly tie blind to color. And yet, in a moment of violent passion, one led the other to the edge of destruction. Both pushed by Vixen, her frustration nurtured by an empty lack of understanding. Her only weakness, a cancerous evil she was taught, that human beings are to be classified by the color of their skin. An inner sickness that will come close to destroying not only her, but those around her. It will bring them to a moment of truth in an empty sky, with the black man a fulcrum in the deadly teeterboard of life. The hatred inside Vixen fired by yet another hate, the sinister preachings of the communist puppet. Vixen, an adult motion picture experience that is rated X. The management of this theater urges you to see Russ Meyer's Vixen.
Okay. Okay. Amazing. And that's the original trailer, right?
Yeah, that's right. We got the negatives to the original trailers too.
That's when trailers were great.
What's on the disc? Like with the movie, it's obviously the trailer.
Yes, the movie, the trailer, there is an interview with Russ. There's a commentary with Russ that he did back for the Laserdisc. There's an archival interview with Russ. Then Erica Gavin and I did a new commentary for it. And there is a interview featurette I shot in 2006 with Erica Gavin and Harrison Page. But there is also a featurette about the film being banned in Ohio, the whole story about, why all these movie theaters got busted and the prints seized. And that's with a guy called Mark Hoyk, who basically owns one of the prints that was seized that still has the tags on it from the police seizure.
Wow.
And I am a fan of your company. I have, I know how hard it is. With we had a company, Film Threat Video. We put out VHS in the 90s.
I remember.
Yeah, your company, Severin Films. Look at this. So much good stuff. Not only what you get, but it's the packaging as well. There is care put into the packaging. So just want to say, I didn't know you were doing.
I mean, that is very important to us. First and foremost, the presentation of the film, but also we treat all of our extras like they're small productions. We take them very seriously, and the packaging, and sometimes the toys that we make that come along with them. If you ever wanted a Joe Spinell plushie, you can get it from us.
That's awesome. Well, David, I'm sure I'll see you at some convention. You're going to be at Monster Palooza, I assume.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah. Please don't go. We've got our audience. We've got over 2,000 people watching live. We have questions for you. Would you like to answer a few questions from our audience?
Sure, I'd be happy.
Here we go. Let's start here. Alan,
right.
if you would.
Yeah, Razor Burn. Faster Pussycat Kill Kill is one of my favorite midnight movies.
Yep.
Nice.
A lot of comments. Ron is right. Faster Pussycat Kill Kill is one of the worst movies ever made.
Ron is wrong.
It's one of the best. No, it's great. There's so many layers to that movie.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Love it.
All right, D. Goodhart. By the way, Severin is to be further admired beyond just Russ Meyer's releases. They have their fantastic Bruceploitation set and a second volume of All the Haunts to Be Ours Too. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, All the Haunts Be Ours is our vast collections of folk horror films from around the world. And we just released the second volume.
I will say a lot of admiration. I'm not sure about questions, but a lot of admiration for
Read
Patrick Lemire. Roger Ebert co-wrote several Russ Meyer films, or is it just the one?
No. He wrote. I believe he wrote Beneath the Valley of the Ultra Vixens as well.
Okay. D. Goodhart. Though those Russ Meyer Blu-rays are tremendous. I watched all 3 of them a couple weeks ago. Just had a blast. Severin did a hell of a job.
There you go. Getting a lot of love.
Yeah.
Last question.
Question from Razor. Is Beyond the Valley of Dolls also released?
Criterion put out Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, yeah, because that one's owned by Fox. So there was a couple of movies he went away from the independent production, made a couple of movies for Fox, and then came back to being an independent producer.
Great, David. Thank you for joining us. You can look up severinfilms.com. We'll put the link in the description. And thank you so much. I'll probably see you at Monster Palooza.
Indeed, and thank you for having me. I've been a Film Threat fan since the 90s, so happy to be here.
Thank you so much. You're the Criterion of tits. What can I say? I think that's yeah. Cool. All right, take care, David.
All right,
see you soon.
Thank you.
Cheers.